Hey everybody, I'm Angus Wright and I also go by Angus by Design. And this is something I call a Dharma Talks, and it's an activity where I kind of journal out loud. And as a participant of social media, including and especially this platform, please be mindful that this space is the intellectual property of me, registered to Angus Wright, Angus by Design, and I'm registered as a mixed media and performance artist. I'm also known as a comedian and a storyteller. Uh, and I'm also celebrating nearly 10 years as a long form improvisational performer and comedian. So, all rights preserved is a mantra that I use for this. And so this is just part of a practice that I have had for a very long time. It's a different, version of it, and I wasn't expecting it to happen this late, but here we are. I thought, well, we'll see how it goes. But my practice has been to review an article that I wrote last year and just reflect some of the highlights from it. So that's what I'll do, and hopefully, if I can keep it around 20 minutes or less, that would be a great goal. So the article that I wrote last year was called "A Lamp in the Darkness: Setting Intentions for the Return of the Light," and it was the compass and the fool. Trying to determine what glasses are better to. All right. So I'm going to start with a quote that I wrote for me. So, in my community of practice, we choose Friday to focus in our journey of strength, and we consider who's in our circle of wellness. Bear with me, I'm going to use some tools to make my life easier. Okay, let me try this again. So in my community of practice, we choose Friday to focus in our journeys of strength, and we consider who's in our circle of wellness. For my personal journey, I'm able to see the strength, resilience, and perseverance that comes from healing myself and opening up to others in a way that it had been opened up to me. As imperfect creatures, we can behave in ways when frightened, lost, or unplugged. It's okay to hold space and gain strength while co-regulating with others. It's okay that we're all experiencing highs, lows, and goes with the flows in one space, because that's how we do it. And that's a quote by me. And I was inspired by a practice that I've done forever. Last year on this day, I was taking inspiration from Jack Kornfield in his Heart Wisdom podcast number 269. It was a holiday special part 2, and that's where "A Lamp in the Darkness: Setting Intentions for the Return of the Light" inspired my title. My words of affirmation and encouragement, and the importance of language and meaning, which was a practice, and I took a look at the difference between intention versus being. And so the inspirational quote was, "May your holidays and the turning of the seasons bring new light, great love, wisdom, and understanding into your life. To all you touch and across this beautiful blue-green globe." And that was Jack Kornfield. The words of affirmation and encouragement that I had written then was, I can relax my mind through heartwarming stories of people connecting with each other in kind regard. I am learning the true and boundless joy of making others feel happy in turn, contributing to my personal sense of happiness. And through listening to learn and to practice unconditional high regard, I can find ways that others are just like me and I'm just like them. I am transforming the world through seeing the beauty of those around us, and I can set the compass of my heart for the highest good and intention for me, for you, for us, and everyone. And I set my goals, and I am a lamp in the darkness for those in need. And I celebrate each season, the new year, and the return of light. And then another quote by Jack Kornfield: how do we respond to this world? You sit and you sweep the garden. You have the capacity as a human being, incarnating in this life, with your measure of suffering and the beauty you have, to respond in extraordinary ways. And that's Jack Kornfield. And then, of course, I always encourage everybody to kind of note any, personal words of affirmation, encouragement, or inspiration they can take. And then when I was looking at the importance of language and meaning as my practice, I looked at the word intention, which, translates to, or is defined by a thing intended, an aim, or a plan. And I love me a good hashtag, so some of the hashtags or other keywords around that was aim, purpose, intent, objective, object, goal, target, end, design, plan, scheme, resolve, resolution, determination, wish, desire, ambition, idea, dream, aspiration, and hope. And then the idea of being is just existence, the nature or the essence of a person. So other keywords or hashtags could be existence, living, life, animation, animatedness, aliveness, reality, actuality, essential nature, lifeblood, vital force, entity, S, soul, spirit, nature, essence, substance, entity, inner being, inner self, psyche, heart, bosom, breast, core, kernel, marrow, quiddity, and pneuma. And then I had the definition of fool, which is a person who acts unwisely or imprudently, a silly person, a jester or clown, especially one retained in a noble household, a person who is duped, acts in a devious way or to dupe others. And so you could consider sharing in your own words what resonated with you about any of those things. And then, one of the practices that I was putting into a regular part of any group I was in or any area I was in was the notion of what is a safety agreement? How do we not only keep ourselves safe, but how do we keep each other safe? How can we honor everybody's safety? And then, how can we also attach a safety action plan to that? And so that's the big question. So considering we're on social media, what did you or do you or will you need to feel or be safe in participating in the virtual world, right? Like, or online. Or even this experience, like even in sticking with a video like this. So here are some reflective prompts that I had prepared last year. I am connecting because if I had words of encouragement to give myself and others today, I'd say my self-care goals, checklists and activities for today include the most challenging part of practicing today is something I appreciated about practicing today is a quote I would like to share is affirmations I would like to share are and then I feel I can statements that I'd like to share include I'm thankful for, songs that inspire me include follow-up I may need, support with includes, and something I'd like to share is. And then, so my practice last year, I was really into like tracking and I guess counting, or like, in recovery, we think of it as sort of an inventory. So in this way, I had 35 minutes and 15 seconds of teaching that I took in. And then I put together, because I was sharing this practice in community, right? So I was doing this as part of a group. And I did, so there's a song by Brett Eldridge, which is gorgeous. The Killers, Bright Lights, and Pink, Willow, Sage, Heart, Cover Me, what is it here? Cover Me in Sunshine, I think it was. And then I had the Compass and the Fool, which were the Tao Te Ching lessons that I pulled. And so another quote from me, may we go from here right where we are in this very moment to fruition, where we all get to feel loved, seen, heard, felt, and remembered in unconditional high regard, in loving kindness. And just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. Just for today, I will be pronoun, and I will strive to demonstrate respect and dignity to all people, places, and things I engage with internally, virtually, but most important, in this physical world. Just for today, I will treat everything with kindness, as though I had a hand in building it, as it's my personal responsibility to preserve the precious resources that we, and all have in 2025 and beyond. One love. Oh my gosh, it's 2026. So there we go. And then a couple more Jack Kornfield quotes. How do we respond to this world? You sit and you sweep the garden. You have the capacity as a human being incarnating in this life with your measure of suffering and the beauty you have to respond in extraordinary ways. And I did a blessing cord ceremony 40 years ago together with Lama Lama Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, and somebody raised their hand and said to him, "What exactly do these protect you from?" And he said, "Why, yourself, of course," which is the main protection that human beings need. That was Jack Kornfield. A big part of my personal experience and people that I love and respect created a so somebody named Dana C. White reinterpreted the lessons of the Tao Te Ching and worked together with a person named Jonathan Staggers, whom he regards as the voice of the Tao. And together they created a set of videos that they brought back to their community for practice, and that community has continued to share a lesson of the Tao each time they gather. So in this practice I put together 2 lessons. And the first one, so this is the writing of Dana C. White, PhD. And it's the Tao Te Ching number 14 of 81, the compass. Taoist wisdom attributed to Lao Tzu, circa 500 BCE. So the compass that takes us off course should not be the one we use to find our direction. The human senses are tricksters, unskilled guides, if we let them, that all too easily can lead us astray. The eyes, by seeing, convince us with appearances. The things we look at are not essence. They are not the Tao. The ears hear, the hands touch, the mind flirts with names and patterns. These too are not the Tao. Look, the Tao cannot be seen with the eyes. Listen, the Tao cannot be heard with the ears. Reach for it. The Tao cannot be grasped. From nothingness, being emerges in the 10,000 forms, each with the potential for the Tao to reveal itself. Every path one can take is not the Tao. Every language one can speak is not the Tao. Beyond form, the Tao permeates everything, making all forms of being possible, but itself. The Tao is relentlessly transcendent with no beginning or end. Follow the forms of the Tao to the source and you will never get there. It is unknowable, yet it is everywhere. The sage knows the way is revealed without moving. By awakening the timeless being of existence in the still point, around which the external dance of oneness turns. Fool a person. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So, and then the other lesson was the Tao Te Ching number 20, the Fool. So I am a guest in this world, so humbled by the infinity of choices. It seems there's no purpose in moving. Others chase excitement, rushing here and there, filling life with purpose. Yet I sit here, looking inward, taking it all in. I accept what is offered, declining to choose one thing over another. How much distance actually lies between good and bad? Is there really such a wide chasm between yes and no? Are success and failure so far apart that we cannot see? That, like good, bad, yes, and no, they are born from the same mother? The mind inhabited by the 10,000 things keeps them all alive by feeding them, nourishing value as if it is virtue. I am a fool, an idiot, immune to the fears and abundance driving people. Why seek what they seek? Why fear what others fear? They scurry about, going places, pulling up roots and planting them. Wherever opportunities take them, uncentered people rejoice, feasting on the carcass of desire. I want none of that. My home is here, in the emptiness of the mind. All that we learn builds cages that we dress up to occupy ourselves, causing us nothing but trouble by sheltering us in meaning. Each a phantom driven to protect us from oneness. Clarity and thinking need languages for their constructions. Where others seek the hard and the firm, I remain soft. Where others find direction in the light, I receive light in the dark. Where others become practiced, I am like a newborn, filled with ignorance and unmet potential. My life is meaningless. I am as aimless as the wind, adrift on the uncharted sea. I feel the waves beneath me coming and going, and welcome them without inquiry or fear. Like guests rapping on my door, what value is there standing sentry at a gateway, always open? Why protect what cannot be taken? Why feed myself from the markets where the crowd shops? The storehouse of the great eternal mother is always open. Indeed, I am different, simple, and unsophisticated, and wanting for nothing. Everything is at hand. So that's me. All right, well, that was my practice. So thanks everybody. Again, I'm Angus Wright. I also go by Angus by Design, and this was just a review. It was just a moment. 24 minutes, and well, we'll say 25 minutes, and then I'm gonna probably load it tomorrow onto YouTube. So I will see y'all then. Ram ram.